Chinese cargo ship conceals 60 missiles. 250 commercial ships cross Pacific shipping lanes daily. China just turned one into a floating arsenal. America's sensors caught everything. Shanghai shipyard, Hudong Zhonghua facility. U.S. surveillance satellites lock onto unprecedented activity. A commercial container vessel, 97 meters long, standard cargo designation. But the deck configuration triggers every alarm. 60 vertical launch missile cells, hidden inside shipping containers. The vessel, Zhong 79, medium-sized feeder container ship. The kind moving freight across global waters every single day. The kind blending into 50,000 commercial vessels worldwide. But what they loaded on deck changes naval warfare forever. Containerized vertical launch systems, rotary phased array radars, Type 1130 close-in weapon systems, over-the-horizon radar arrays, fire control systems matching planned Type 055 destroyers. This isn't a cargo ship anymore. This is China's weapon. At 3:28 a.m., Beijing time, final weapons integration completed. The transformation from civilian freighter to military arsenal. 4 months. Cost, fraction of traditional warship construction. Capability, 2/3 the firepower of an Arleigh Burke destroyer. Traditional naval doctrine just died. Which weapon system is deadlier? A. Anti-ship cruise. B. Hypersonic missile. C. Land attack cruise. American intelligence tracked every stage. From April to August 2025, the ship sat at Shanghai shipyard. Structural modifications, hull reinforcements, power system upgrades, then moved to Shanghai for weapons installation. Satellite imagery captured it all. The containerized launch cells can fire multiple missile types. YJ-18 anti-ship cruise missiles, 290 nautical mile range, subsonic cruise at Mach 0.8 for 180 kilometers, then supersonic sprint at Mach 2.5 to 3.0 for final 40 kilometers, 300 kilogram high explosive warhead, Beidou satellite guidance, active radar seeker for terminal homing. These missiles kill aircraft carriers. CJ-10 land attack cruise missiles, YJ-21 hypersonic anti-ship ballistic missiles, HQ-9 surface-to-air missiles for fleet defense. Each container identical to standard 20-foot shipping units. International shipping moves 240 million containers annually. Now imagine 1% concealing launch cells. China's message explodes across every ocean. Any cargo ship could be a warship. Any commercial vessel could launch 60 missiles without warning. Any container could hide death. The strategic implications reshape global power. Taiwan Strait handles massive commercial traffic daily. Hundreds of cargo ships, thousands of containers. U.S. carrier strike groups operate within 300 miles of Chinese shipping lanes. Every container ship becomes a potential threat. For 80 years, gray hulls identified warships, radar masts, weapon systems. Visual confirmation separated civilian from military. China just erased that line. But what American sensors caught reveals deeper truth. The Zhong 79 isn't just carrying missiles. It's equipped with autonomous combat systems, can detect, track, target, destroy enemy vessels independently. No fleet support needed. No command ships required. Operates as standalone missile platform disguised as civilian infrastructure. Stay with me. The scale changes everything. China operates world's largest commercial fleet, over 5,000 cargo vessels, 200 times America's shipbuilding capacity. Pentagon warned about this exact scenario in 2024 China Military Power Report. Pentagon quote, "It is possible the PRC is developing a launcher fitting inside standard commercial shipping containers for covert YJ-18 employment aboard merchant ships." That possibility became reality. A single weaponized cargo ship carries 2/3 Arleigh Burke destroyers' firepower. Those destroyers cost $2.1 billion each, take 5 years to build. China converts cargo ships in 4 months. Warfare Signal tracked China's military-civil fusion doctrine for years. This is ultimate expression. Civilian infrastructure, military capability, zero distinction between commerce and combat. U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet patrols Pacific with 60-70 ships. China's commercial fleet, 5,000-plus vessels. If 10% get weaponized, that's 500 floating missile batteries, each carrying 60 launch cells. Do the math. 30,000 vertical launch cells hidden in commercial shipping. U.S. Navy's entire surface fleet, approximately 10,000 VLS cells total. In 2005, China's vertical launch capacity was 1.5% of U.S. Navy capability. By 2015, 13%. By end of 2024, planned surface ships carried more than 50% of U.S. Navy's total VLS cells. Nearly one-third added in just 2021-2022. The gap continues closing. Now China adds VLS cells faster than America builds ships. The YJ-18 system deserves attention, originally derived from Russian 3M-54 club design. But Chinese variant includes Beidou satellite integration, improved electronic warfare resistance, network-centric warfare capabilities allowing coordinated swarm attacks across multiple platforms. How many VLS cells does a Zumwalt destroyer carry? A. 20 cells. B. 80 cells. C. 240 cells. Consider the Taiwan scenario. If conflict erupts, Beijing activates hundreds of weaponized cargo ships, positions them along key shipping lanes, blockades major ports, threatens any vessel approaching Taiwan. How does U.S. Carrier Strike Group respond? Every cargo ship, potential threat. Every container, possible missiles. Traditional rules of engagement collapse. International law prohibits attacking civilian vessels. But if those vessels carry weapons and fire first, they become legitimate military targets. Now every merchant ship in conflict zone becomes suspect. Global shipping industry is terrified. Executives told Reuters they don't want caught between U.S. and Chinese demands, worried about ships being commandeered, crews at risk, fundamental security of international commerce threatened. One shipping executive: "We don't want position where China comes knocking, wanting our ships, and U.S. Navy treats us as combatants." That nightmare is operational reality. American response capabilities evolve but lag behind. U.S. Navy developing similar modular systems. Mark 70 palletized delivery system launches missiles from containers. Modular Attack Surface Craft program aims to field rapid deployment systems. But U.S. shipbuilding remains constrained. Congressional Research Service reports chronic delays, cost overruns, workforce shortages, aging infrastructure, brittle supply chains. China's shipbuilding capacity, 232 times America's. In this naval race, China weaponizes what it already owns. America struggles building what it doesn't have. Quantity or quality, which matters more in modern naval warfare? Comment Q or L. Detection becomes critical challenge. U.S. Space Force operates constellation satellites for maritime surveillance. Space Development Agency deploys tracking layer satellites for hypersonic missile detection. Missile Defense Agency's hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensor tracks threats globally. But tracking 50,000 commercial vessels simultaneously, identifying which carry weapons, determining hostile intent before missiles launch? Exponentially harder than tracking 1,000 traditional warships. The Zhong 79 doesn't appear in official plan registries, still maintains civilian designation despite military weaponry. This creates legal gray zones. Is it warship, civilian vessel? Can it be targeted preemptively? International maritime law wasn't written for weaponized cargo ships. Chinese military researchers recently claimed breakthroughs in hypersonic glide vehicles, platforms capable of Mach 20 speeds, global strike within 30 minutes, launch platforms eventually satellite-based. combined with weaponized cargo ships. Three-dimensional threat matrix. Missiles from space, missiles from disguised surface vessels, missiles from traditional warships. American doctrine hasn't caught up? U.S. Navy's distributed maritime operations concept spreads forces across vast areas, makes targeting harder, increases survivability. But if cargo ships become missile batteries, distributed operations become more dangerous, not less. More threat vectors, more uncertainty, more potential for surprise attack. The 2025 China Military Power Report states plan is world's largest naval force by hull numbers, 370 ships and submarines. But that doesn't count commercial fleet, doesn't count potential arsenal ships, doesn't count hidden threat. Include weaponized cargo vessels, China's effective naval power doubles, triples, becomes incalculable. If you believe naval technology is changing forever, type warfare signal. U.S. Pacific Fleet faces unprecedented challenge. Defend allies, maintain sea control, deter aggression, all while distinguishing legitimate shipping from concealed threats. Taiwan remains flashpoint. The island depends on sea lanes for survival. 90% of trade moves by ship. Blockade could strangle economy within weeks. Weaponized cargo ships make that blockade strategy far more viable. China doesn't need public military announcement. Just quietly activate commercial vessels. Position them in key locations. Wait. If Taiwan or allied vessels approach, missiles launch. If confrontation escalates, cargo ships fire first, then claim self-defense after being threatened. Provocation response dynamic inverts. Traditional aggressor-defender roles blur. Attribution becomes nearly impossible. Some analysts call this asymmetric warfare, others, hybrid conflict. Warfare Signal calls it the new reality. Naval warfare evolved from wooden ships trading broadsides to steel dreadnoughts firing at 20-mile range to carrier strike groups projecting power across oceans. Now it evolves again. To hidden weapons, disguised platforms, ubiquitous threats. Aircraft carrier ruled naval warfare for 80 years, massive floating airbase projecting power anywhere on Earth, but carriers are vulnerable, expensive, limited in number. U.S. operates 11 carrier strike groups, each one high-value target, each one threatened by anti-ship ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons, and now weaponized cargo ships. American naval strategists debate whether carrier era is ending, whether distributed smaller vessels make more sense, whether unmanned systems should dominate future fleets. China just added new variable to that equation. Why build more warships when you can weaponize existing commercial vessels? The broader implications extend beyond military conflict. Global trade depends on secure shipping lanes. Insurance companies underwrite cargo based on risk assessments. International law governs maritime behavior. All assumes you can identify civilian vessels versus military threats. Weaponized cargo ships destroy that assumption. Insurance rates could skyrocket. Shipping companies might avoid certain routes. Trade flows could redirect away from high-risk areas. Economic impact cascades far beyond military considerations. Some call this China's asymmetric advantage, using massive commercial infrastructure for military purposes, leveraging economic power for strategic gain, blurring line between peace and conflict. Others call it violation of international norms, militarizing civilian shipping, endangering merchant crews, weaponizing global commerce. Both perspectives are correct. Which technology dominates in 2030? Lasers, railguns, or hypersonics? This is China's strategy. Use every advantage, integrate every resource, dominate through scale and surprise. American response must evolve rapidly. Better sensors, AI-powered threat detection, international agreements defining weaponized vessels, allied cooperation tracking suspicious ships. But China moves faster, tests more systems, deploys more capabilities, leverages advantages America can't easily counter. The Zhong 79 represents proof of concept. 1 ship, 60 missiles, confirmed capability. Now imagine 100 ships, 500 ships, 1,000 ships. That's not speculation. That's stated Chinese doctrine under military-civil fusion policy. U.S. Navy's technological edge remains significant. Better sensors, better training, better combat systems, better submarines. But technology advantage doesn't overcome numerical disadvantage if gap grows too large. China's strategy: overwhelm with quantity, weaponize commercial assets, make every engagement cost more than it's worth, force America to defend everywhere simultaneously. That's not strategy you defeat with better destroyers. That's strategy requiring fundamental rethinking of naval warfare. Warfare Signal tracked naval developments for years. Hypersonic missiles, electromagnetic railguns, directed energy weapons, unmanned combat vessels. Each innovation changes calculus. But weaponized cargo ships might be most disruptive development yet. Not because of advanced technology, because of strategic ambiguity, because of scale, because of accessibility. December 2025 sighting confirmed what intelligence officials feared. China didn't just test the concept. China built it, deployed it, and made sure everyone knew. That's deterrence. That's strategic messaging. That's power projection without firing shot. The weaponized cargo ship arms race has begun. China leads. America follows. Allies scramble to understand implications. This changes everything: naval warfare, maritime security, global commerce, international law. Age of gray-hulled warship isn't over, but it's no longer only threat on oceans. Welcome to era of hidden arsenals, disguised weapons, ubiquitous danger. Welcome to future China is building, one weaponized container at a time. Quiz answer: Zumwalt destroyers carry 80 VLS cells. The Zhong 79 packs 60 cells hidden in containers, 75% of Zumwalt's capacity at fraction of cost. 3 questions for you. Which tech dominates future naval warfare? Can enemies counter this weaponized cargo ship strategy? What's America's next move? Subscribe to Warfare Signal, where cutting-edge military technology meets strategic analysis. Hit that like button if this deep dive into modern naval warfare opened your eyes. Drop your thoughts in comments below. The balance of power just shifted, and most people don't even know it yet.